Techies. I am Sambhav here. This is a solution video for order by part 3. So in the previous video, we have discussed about order by using alias name, order by using sorting expression, order by using column name number. We have seen some practical sessions and I have given you some assignment questions for you to practice. In case you have not watched my previous video on SQL, please go ahead and check them out. I will leave the link in the description for you. So in the previous video, we have talked about how to order a table we're using an alias name. We have also discussed the nuances of order by, how order by basically works with alias name, or why order by works with an alias name. Secondly, we have also discussed about ordering data based on sorting expression, which is nothing but applying some functionality on the column on the column of a particular table and then sorting the data based on that. We have seen some of the functionalities like length, concat, date, and so on and so forth. We have also seen how to sort the data based on column number. You should be very mindful about these 2 points. If the column names are not defined in the select statement, that is when you're using an asterisk symbol, which denotes all columns from the table, then you must use the column position as per the table. But in case you have defined the column name in the select statement, then you must use the column position as per the select statement, right? These are the things which we have defined in our previous section. And in case if you have any questions, please feel free to post your questions in the comment section. I would definitely address them. And then finally, we have seen some assignment questions. So in this video, we are going to talk about the solution of these assignment questions. I hope you would have tried, and I'm expecting that you have done all the 6 questions correct. So let's start one by one. Let's go to question number 1. The question number 1. So let me bring the question number 1 here for you. So the question number 1 says, can you please sort the customer order table in the ascending order of number of characters for the product name? So let me bring the customer order table. So select star from customer order, right? Now let me execute this query so that it can fetch the data for us. So this is our data, which contains customer ID, customer name, gender, product category, product name, and price. So the question says, sort the customer order table in the ascending order of number of characters for the product name, and that too based on the number of characters. Now, how do we calculate the number of characters? So very simple, we can say select. Let me just show you an example where you can just use a product name and the length column. So we can say product underscore name, comma, and then we can say length of product underscore name as, and I'm aliasing it as let's say length of product name, and then I'll say from customer order. Let me execute this. So this will return 2 columns. One is the product name and another one is the length. So mobile contains 6 characters, television has 10 characters, refrigerator has 13 characters, tennis racket has 14, skipping rope has 13, tennis racket has 14. So we need to sort the data based on length of the product name. Now the question also says display the total number of characters along with all the columns. That means we need to display all the columns from the customer order, and along with that we also need to display this. So what is that we are going to do? We will say select star comma, and then I will use this because this is what is returning me the length, and then I will say from customer order, and then I will say order by. Now I can use the alias name, which is length of product name, right? And let me execute this query. So you see it is returning the entire table, and at the end it is also returning the length of it, and it has sorted the table, it has sorted the entire table in the ascending order of the length of the product name. So you see the length is 2, then 4, then 5, and gradually it increases, and the highest length in this table for the product name is 14 characters, which is at the end. Now similarly, if you want to sort this in the descending order, you can use the keyword DESC, descending, and then if you sort the data, you would see here that the longest product name is on the top, right? Now here you can, now you might notice that I am using an alias name. In spite of alias name, if you want, you can use the entire function itself. So let me copy this piece of code for you, and let me copy the function this time for the sorting. So let me paste it here. So this time I'm not using an alias name. The reason is because I want to show you that you can also use a function in the order by to sort the data, right? Now if I execute this, it will return the same result, right? So this is the solution for the first question, which says sort the customer order table in the ascending order of the number of characters for product name. Also display the total number of characters along with the column. So all I've done is I've used DESC. If you want, since the question says ascending order, we don't have to use the keyword descending. It should be ascending. If you want, you can use the keyword ascending, but since ascending is default option, it doesn't make any difference, right? Now let's go to the next question. The next question says sort the customer table in the descending order of the full name. Full name is a combination of first and last name. So let me bring this question in our section here. So it says, this is a question, sort the customer table in the descending order of the full name. Full name is a combination of first name and the last name. So let me comment it out. Now let's look at the customer table first. So we have select star from customer, right? And let me execute this query so that we should be able to see the customer table. So the customer table has got customer ID, store ID, first name, last name, email, and other columns as well. So now the question says that I have to sort the table based on the combination of first and last name. So let me just do it. Select, let me this time only you choose selected columns, like let's say first name, comma, last underscore name. Let me pick a few more. Let's say customer ID, customer underscore ID, and let's say store ID as well. Let's keep one more column, store ID, right? Then from customer, right? Now let me execute this piece of code. I'm just selecting few columns. So you will notice I'm getting first name, last name, customer ID, and store ID. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine these two columns, and I'm going to create another column called as full name. So I'll use a function concat, and concat function is basically used to combine multiple columns together. You can combine two columns or more columns, right? So let's say first underscore name, comma, and let me separate the first and the last name with underscore, right? And then I will add last underscore name, and I'll give an alias name as full name, right? And now let me execute this piece of code and see the result. So yes, now you see it works very fine. First name and last name, Jared Ellie. So it has been combined here. Mary Smith, right? Patricia Johnson, it has been combined as a full name. So now the question says that I have to sort the data based on the full name. So what I would do is, all I have to do is I just have to use an order by here. So I can say order by full underscore name, order by full name. Now it is in descending order. So what I have to do, we will just have to add a keyword DESC so that SQL can sort the data in the descending order of the name. So let's do that and see. So you see Zachary Height, name starting with Z, then W, and gradually it will boil down to S, and slowly B and A. So this is how you can sort the data in the descending order, right? I hope this solution is clear. Let's go jump to the third question. It says sort the film table in the ascending order by film title using column number. Okay, looks very easy. Now let me comment it out. So it says sort the film table. So let me pull up the data. Select star from film, and let me execute this query. Now this film table, it says sort the table in the ascending order of the title. Now you see Title is in the second position. The first column is film ID and the title. Let me show you the film table from here, which will give you more clarity on the list of column names. So you see here it has got film ID, title, description, release year, language ID, and other columns as well. But our question says, can you please sort the film table in the ascending order by the film title? So the title is in the second position, right? So now I will say select star from film order by 2. Now you should be mindful here that since we are defining a wildcard character star, which means all columns, so you must be using the column position based on this table, right? The column positions are 1, 2, 3, 4. In case you would have defined any specific, in case you have defined column names in your select statement, then you must use your column position based on the select statement, the order in which you have defined the column name, right? So this is our solution. So Chambo Italian, Gross Wonderful. So let me sort the data first. And you see here the first value Academy Dinosaur is Goldfinger and so on and so forth, right? So this is an ascending order of this film table. Now let's look into the next question. The next question says, hey, can you generate a new column as full address containing address, address to, city, district, city, and postal code from the address table and sort the table based on the full address. Now use the column number of full address for sorting in this ascending order. So let's do this question. Pretty simple. Let me paste this over here and let me add a proper space for all of us so that we can see the question properly. All right, so this is a question. The question says, generate a new column as full address containing address, address to, district, city, ID, and postal code, right? Let me comment it out and let me look at this table. Select star from address, right? So let's say address table, right? Now let me execute this. So this is our address table, which contains columns such as address, address to, district, city ID, postal code, phone number, and all. So here the first thing what we need to do is we need to combine this address. So different columns to create a full address. So let's say select, and let me copy this better, and postal code, right? I'm copying this column names from the question, right? So address, address to, district, city ID, and postal code. So we don't need this piece, right? And I'm saying comma, comma, and now I'm saying, can you concat all these columns, right? So let me copy this again. I'll have to do that. I'm sorry. So let me copy all of them here so that I can what am I doing? I'm concatenating my address, address to, district, city, and comma, postal code, and I'm saying as full address, right? Now let me say from address table, address table. Just let's look at the result. What does it show, right? Now, so I have got address, address ID, full address. So you can see it is a combination of all these columns, right? You can see there is this is a combination of all these columns. So let me do one thing. Let me separate them with underscore, all right? So that it will make our life easy to understand what a full address is all about. Right, so here also let me do the same thing. As full address. Now let me execute this piece of code to see how my full address actually looks like. So full address looks like, okay, perfect. So as a postal code, right? So this is my full address. Now all I have to do is I have to order by. I have to order by full address underscore add. Now let me check out whether it is ascending or descending order. generate a new column, blah blah blah, from this table, use column number to address or sorting in ascending order. So I don't have to use a keyword explicitly ascending because that's a default option. And you will notice now the data is sorted in the ascending order. Now you see that one more important thing for you to notice over here is, you know, the address with numbers will appear on the top. I hope you remember when we were talking about, you know, ordering based on character column, we have seen the hierarchy of character column ordering. So the smallest value is the missing value, which is not null. It's a missing value, a white character space, followed by uh, values containing numbers. And values starting with basically numbers, then uppercase, then lowercase, and then finally the null values. Null values are treated to be as the highest value, right? So this is a solution here. Now let's look at these two questions. I'm copying these two questions together. So it says, let me comment it out. It says, arrange the rental table in the descending order of their rental date, right? Now let me put out the rental, let me pull out the rental table. Select star from rental, and let's look at the table once, right? So this is my rental table, which contains all this column called as rental ID, rental date, inventory ID, customer ID, return date, and last update. So here all we need to do is we have to sort this entire table in the descending order of the rental date. So it's pretty straightforward. Select star from rental order by rental, R-E-N-T-A-L, rental underscore date, right? Now since this is in descending, so I'll use the keyword descending and I'll execute this query, right? So this table will get sorted based on the rental date in the descending order. Now you see here the descending contains time also, the rental date, sorry, the rental date contains time. So if you don't want to have time, all you'll have to do is extract the date part from the rental date. How can we do it? I'll show you that. Select, let's say star, comma, let me say date of rental date, right? And let me give as an alias as date of rent, right? And then I can say order by order. Oh, I forgot to mention the table name. So it is from rental, and then I'll say order by what? Date of rent, and then I'll use a keyword descending. Now let me execute this piece of code. So you will see that it has extracted a column called as date of rent, right? Which is trimming out the time part. So we'll talk about this function a little later. We will talk about that in the upcoming videos. And we'll also talk about the data type for you to understand how SQL actually stores the value with time, date and time together. So here we have used a date function to extract the date from the rental date, and then I have sorted the data based on that, right? Now let's get to, let's try solving the next question. It says order the film actor table in the descending order of the film ID using column number. Film actor table. Okay, let me say select star from, I think we have a table called as film, right? Let me see. There's a typo. In the descending order of their film ID using a column number. So I'm sorry, there's no table called as. Do we have a table called as film actor? Oh, of course we have. Sorry, film actor. Right, now let me execute this. So yeah, so we have an actor ID, film ID, and last update. So it is saying sort the data based on the film ID, right? And we have to use a column number. So it is pretty easy. Select star from film underscore actor, and then I'll have to say order by film ID. But here we do not have to use the column name. All we have to do is we have to use the column position. So this is in the second position, so I can say order by 2, right? And that too, it is in the descending order. So all we have to do is we'll have to use a keyword descending, right? And you can see my data is sorted in the descending order of the film ID. So the highest film ID is on the top, and it's started to decrease, goes to 980, 979, and whatever is the lowest film ID, we will see the result at the bottom, right? So I hope you have solved all these questions correctly, right? I hope you have tried all of them. Please try solving them, and I'll provide you the solution in upcoming videos. This will be the practice for all our topics which we are discussing, right? Now, guys, if you want to continue learning SQL or Python, data science, machine learning, or AI with me, please like and subscribe my channel. Also hit the bell icon to receive notifications for my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for your time and patience. I hope you enjoyed learning this session. Goodbye. Thank you.